What's poppin', my Freeform Renegades? You are tuned into the Freeform Network. Thanks for joining us for another fun episode of Freeform Radio. I'm your host, Noel, with my co host, Daniel.
Yes, sir, man. Coming in hot, excited, man. Bears undefeated in the playoffs, man. I love it.
In the preseason, brother.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
not get ahead of
preseason.
ourselves.
Yeah. Well, this
But
is a
we'll see.
preemptive. Yeah, maybe.
We'll see. And we
Two
got
years
Andy
in a row,
here.
Dan. 2 years in a row, Bears won the preseason championship. So,
Heck yeah.
um, it's all good, Andy. We want to thank y'all for listening. When this episode drops, Labor Day has passed, and I hope everybody had a good Labor Day weekend.
That's very true, man. Hopefully everybody's doing great out there. It's another beautiful day here in Chicago. The weather's finally great. Wherever you listeners are, we hope you're relaxed and feeling good. So we're going to jump into it here. We're going to start it off with Andy. And Andy, it looks like on here you have the UFC TV deal. This is a massive deal, man. $7.7 billion, man. What are your thoughts on all this?
So yeah, man, it's TKO, the parent company of UFC, WWE, and other entertainment things. But the big two is UFC had a massive TV deal with Viacom or Paramount, whatever they're called now, for 7.7 billion. That's what it'll be. And then they also signed a deal with ESPN on their new streaming platform, ESPN, with PLEs, or it used to be pay-per-view events, and same thing with the UFC with their pay-per-views. They're all going to show on Paramount Plus and some on CBS, and the WWE PLEs, which were on Peacock, are now going to ESPN. They got like a billion, I believe, for 10 years, if I remember correctly. Just massive, massive deals for content, basically. The UFC's a 7-year deal. They're going to get a lot big exposure, but the big thing is basically the pay per view, uh, that platform or whatever you want to call it, which was a staple when we were growing up, and it kind of transitioned over to streaming and all that, but that's kind of gone. I mean, this it's I don't want to say it's dead. It's going to be around, but it's not going to be as massive or important to people's bottom line as it used to be. And then WWE, they divvied up a lot of their programming, and part of their Peacock had the premium live events, and ESPN got the crack at that, and they paid. There was also an article stating that another company paid more money, but they weren't as big as ESPN because they weren't a name like ESPN. I'm thinking it was something like Apple TV or something to that effect, or maybe Paramount or something. I don't know. The one that they kind of hinted was Apple, but so do you combine, it's almost what, 8, 9, $12 billion in one year. Um, just massive, massive amounts of money. I For the UFC, let's all be honest, they don't have the big names like they used to have. I think with the CBS Paramount deal, they'll get some more exposure because people don't have to order it. They can just tune in or go to CBS and watch it. A lot of it's going to be on CBS too, from what I understand. Um, and then you people maybe watch the prelims and they're like, order the fight. And they're like, now you can just stay and watch it. Um, so overall, it's a big deal for TKO. WWE's making a ton of money. I know there's been some pushback on, they were doing the math to watch like WWE programming like through USA and like CW and Netflix and now WWE, ESPN and Peacock, and people were saying it's going to cost you like over $1,000 a month if you subscribe to all this crap. But let's get back to it. Like, it's a big deal. Both UFC came out a big time winner. It was breaking news. Everybody was talking about it. I think I texted you guys about it. What are your thoughts on that deal? I mean, 7 billion for UFC. I know they don't have the big superstars like they used to, but you think this will get more eyeballs to watch their product now that it's part of a subscription, or get people to subscribe or on network TV.
100%, man. I was really surprised about this deal. Um, and the thing is, too, Dana even said that he's still going to try to make more profit and still have pay-per-views, but like these one-offs, like really special ones. So we'll see how that all plays out. But to have the majority of their stuff on Paramount, or even what was it? I think there's like a free version you could watch, like cable TV
Pluto,
almost,
like
something
so,
like that.
CBS is the network, and then Premium Paramount Plus is their streaming arm. So everything's gonna be on Paramount Plus with certain events on CBS. And I'm assuming they're gonna have fast channels where it's like on Viacom or whatever owns Pluto, so they're gonna have probably stuff on there. There's already some fast channels for UFC on like the free ones like Tubi and Pluto and all that stuff. So um, yeah, I mean it just big money for UFC, which I said I was kind of shocked that they got that much money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an insane amount of money. But like you said before, their lineup right now is kind of dwindling. Like there's a few big championships, there's a few big like names in the UFC, but it's not like it was before. So yeah, we'll see how it all develops.
yeah, man. I don't really watch UFC too much, and even WWE. I don't stay in tune as much. So, yeah, man, it's a lot of money for them to be paying. I don't know how popular pay-per-views still are. ESPN seems to be taking a big chunk out of um, the viewing power here that people want to see because people are still consuming WrestleMania in huge numbers and stuff like that. I don't know how some of the smaller pay-per-views are going, but yes, man, this is a big deal for sports events and so on.
So, do you? I don't have. I don't subscribe to Paramount Plus. I think you do, Danny, through or you get a part of as a benefit thing, like a subscription thing or something like that, or is that not the case no more?
Yeah, I do get Paramount with my Walmart Plus
Ah, yes.
subscription. Yeah,
Hmm.
so I do currently have that.
Okay. I mean, now that you have access to it, is that something where you're like, well, I mean, you might just tune in and see, like, let me see what's going on, or you're just like,
Well,
like I'm
with
not interested at all.
With Paramount Plus, I don't think you get any of this UFC WWF stuff because that's on ESPN, and ESPN is aren't they partners with like Disney
No,
and what was it?
UFC signed a deal with Paramount Plus. I think it takes effect starting in 2026.
Oh,
Yep,
okay. Oh, I'm
that's right.
sorry. Oh,
And
I
the
thought it. I
WWE signed the deal with ESPN for their PLEs. So it's two
Okay.
separate things. Yeah.
I thought they were both gobbled up with the
No,
ESPN deal. Oh, okay.
two separate deals. Yeah.
So UFC's on Paramount. Wow, that might be
Hmm.
interesting then. I mean, I'm definitely not as big of a fan as Noel, but I was interested in at the time back in the day, KOTOR and those days.
Royce
Uh,
Gracie and all
yeah,
them.
Gracie. That's when I was watching UFC, and I kind of fell off. But yeah, man, this might bring me back in. I was actually watching because like I mentioned to you, Andy, I got the antenna hooked up, and I saw as part of one of the free channels was this bare knuckle fighting,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh wow, I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. So I started watching some of it, and it did get me like a little hyped up. Like, man, I wonder how UFC is doing right now, and I just kind of disregarded it. But yeah, if they're coming over to Paramount, it might
That's
be
on
my
the
opportunity to catch up with them.
Fubu Sports or something, or right? I forgot what channel. I remember watching some of that. I think it was like Fubu Sports or something like that.
Yeah, I can't really recall what was the name of the channel, but yeah, it definitely was interesting for sure.
Yeah, like I said, it's a good deal for UFC and WWE. They both when TKO acquired WWE, there was a they started cleaning house and trying to get rid of debt. One of the things came out that WWE did have a lot of debt once this merger happened, and with this deal and some of the TV deals they signed recently, and their ticket prices, they're close to wiping all that debt out before the end of the year, because one of the things on WWE, people have been complaining about the pricing, ticket pricing, but they came out and said, we will adjust ticket pricing down the road at this pace. We're going to be debt free by the end of the year with all these events and all this stuff that we're getting, especially with this TV deal. So, yeah, it's pretty good news, man. We'll see what happens. I'm glad pay-per-views dead. I mean, nobody's ordering pay-per-view movies like when we were kids and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. Let
What
us
about
know if you're gonna get.
closed circuit TV, Andy? Is that still going, man?
No, that I think that died a long time ago. I mean, people, you tell kids what you had to do back in the day, they'll be like, "What?" Um, but something else that's I just want to bring up. Chicago Public Schools. I don't know how much you read on, or if you guys know anything about it. They have this budget deficit of like over $700 million. Have you guys heard anything about this? You know, with the new school starting this month, the last couple of weeks, kids been going back to school. Have you had a chance to read or hear anything about that?
Uh,
N- no,
go-
I personally haven't heard anything about Chicago. I actually heard something about California and involving ICE and just some weird bill they're trying to pass, but no, I haven't heard about Chicago.
yeah,
So,
usually it's my habit in the morning. I watch the news as I'm waking up, and I did watch in these last few weeks actually, as the school season was gearing up, how CPS was having issues, and mostly it sounded like it was coming from the pensions and having to pay that bill, and just a deficit in general as far as paying all their teachers and paying for schooling.
well, a lot of it, that's a part of it, but they have they have a budget of this year, something like of $1 billion or something, and they estimated they're going to be short $700 million plus, and they started talking on the news. The CPS CEO, I believe, saying that they don't want to let people go. They don't want to do budget cuts. They're asking the governor to give them the money. Um, a lot of people came in talking about they have a lot of schools with little to no enrollment. I mean, like they have all these schools where they have enrollment of less like 100 students, and they were talking about maybe we can consolidate that. But then there was pushback because a lot of those jobs that were given to those schools, or allegedly they were like promised to certain people if they help win elections. So that's why they don't want to close them down. And then they have a lot of overhead. And what's funny, they've been begging the governor for money to help raise the rest of the money. And the governor basically this weekend finally said, like, don't look to Springfield to help you solve that. So now it's going to be, education, and this is the most important thing. So now the mayor's talking about raising taxes and doing all this other stuff, which, Chicago's already expensive city to live, property taxes and sales tax and all this other stuff. Now I'm like, what's keeping me intrigued is like, I want to see what they do next, because they were told, I think one of the recommendations was to get a loan. And then the loan is going to be, it's not even going to be low interest, man. It's going to be like crazy. And they don't want to do that because they know they don't have the money, and they're already asking, well, what's your projected budget for the next like 3 years? And they don't know. So obviously, it looks like they have a spending problem. They're not willing to tackle this head on. What I'm seeing, it's just basically, to me, this is mismanagement. On my thoughts, um, they the governor said they're not bailing them out. So, but the governor is willing to help. The CTA has a shortfall too, and they're thinking about Pace and Metro are getting by. So they proposed the bill to switch over $74 million to bail out CTA, but not public schools. So it's just interesting when you look at this stuff and how we're taxed in this state, and then you look at Chicago and Cook County, which is where the largest amount of people live in this state. To hear those issues and like if there were a business that would have gone bankrupt years ago, but it just continues to be mismanaged. Um, the pensions are a part of it, but a lot of it is they have a large workforce that are is was employees that were given these jobs that not necessarily you need to have those positions filled. So I mean that's what I read by the former Chicago president Vallis said that in an interview a couple weeks ago, and he's the one that ran for mayor and lost to this guy Johnson that's the mayor now, and he made some points, and this guy was sensible, and he was just not telling in how it is, but he had some thoughts. I don't know. They kept asking him if he's going to run for mayor again. He said he's not at this time. I'm not committed to anything. But then Johnson, in the same time, is talking about tax hikes all across the city. And then today they also are talking about they want to redo Grant Park or something. I'm just like, well, what fucking money if you don't even got money for schools? You know, it's
Yeah,
just interesting. Like, you guys have any thoughts on that? I know I think in Chicagoland, Naperville teachers might go on strike or something. They're fighting about more money or mental days, but think about that $700 million deficit, and like what's their budget, and they don't even know.
yeah, it is
Yeah,
definitely concerning because I mean, this is the education of children, the future. Um, yeah, it is very concerning. I know that we talk about public education every now and then, Andy, and I know other districts are in better condition, but yeah, it's concerning to see that the city of Chicago is having the issue. Um, a lot of people are talking shit about how there's money to spend for other projects and other, needs in the city, but there's no money for education. So it is concerning. This is when I go back to stuff like um, illegal immigration and paying for a bunch of their food and housing. If you have
Mm-hmm.
money for that, then that means that you budgeted and allocated what was necessary for the public education, for keeping infrastructure going, for disaster funds, that you have these funds available, that it's a surplus, because to tell me, like you mentioned, Andy, that they don't know what they're going to even spend in the coming years, to me, that's mismanagement. There's a problem. You can't afford to pay for all these other projects if you can't even afford to educate the students of Chicago.
And real quick, the other thing I forgot to mention, their annual enrollment of students has gone down the last couple of years. It's not like it's going up. So you technically you have less students. So what is going on with that money? You know, that's how I look at it. If you had more, oh, you're thinking all the immigrants and they enrolled all these those immigrants' kids and all that, but enrollment's actually down the last couple of years. So to me, that's like the red flag. So to me, it's just like mismanagement, and so I think somebody has their hand in the cookie jar.
As well, if enrollment is down, then that means that you have less taxpayers. So if you have less taxpayers, possibly, then maybe that's where some of the shortfalls come in. If you got people exiting the city and moving into the suburbs or moving out of the state, then that's a possibility. I know that there's a lot of new conversations going to getting rid of the state property tax. Well, that's a huge part of the revenue for paying for a lot of this stuff. And to me, I would love it. I mean, I'm a property owner. I would love stuff like that, but I don't see how they could make it work if they're talking about shortfalls like this.
Yeah, man. Like I said, let us know what you guys think. Any final thoughts, Noel? Um, do you take this education stuff serious?
it is a shame, man. I think education is very important, but don't necessarily agree with the direction that a lot of school systems are going in, and I think there could be a lot of improvements made. Typically, what I see nowadays is people hyping up homeschooling, that you're going to have a better education there versus going to what essentially is being referred to as an indoctrination camp in the public school system. And the fact that like they mismanage their money, it just shows the quality of care that they have for this. So they don't really care. And if they don't care about this, then it's not gonna benefit the people that are going there. And so we'll see how it all plays out, man. I do feel for those kids because yeah, it's gonna be a tough future for all the younger generations coming up. And the employment market is down, the economy's down, things are just not looking that great. And so now this education system is suffering. It's just, man, it's all signs are pointing to struggle in the future.
Yeah, man. Like I said, let us know what you guys think. It's to me, it's always interesting. Like it's not to me. Final thought is it's not it's a money generating thing. It's a spending thing. They spend more money than they got because they always think they're gonna get more. So and then that's why we're in the situations we're in. But let's liven it up here a little bit. Let's go to Danny. He went to the everybody in Chicagoland has got their food boners because a couple of restaurants are opening up. One of them is Jack in the Box. It looks like Danny went to I'm guessing the one that is near us in Lake in the Hills or Crystal Lake. Did you go, Danny, and wait like the 3 hours?
Yeah, so we went yesterday. It opened up on Monday, just this past Monday, as of this recording. And yeah, we did not go on the opening night, but we did go this Saturday. We decided, hey, let's go for lunch. We took off like around 11ish, thinking it's a half an hour drive to get there. Then, a reasonable amount to wait. We would eat around noon, and we would have our food and give it a try because this is California based, I believe, or that's where they originated
West
this
Coast.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're out there by the California side, and yeah, man, we didn't get our food until like 2:30, somewhere around there.
I can't believe
So
you waited, man.
so it was definitely a wait, for sure. Um, uh, and trust me, man, while we were waiting, we did speak about, do we just take off? What do we want to do here? Are we that hungry? Do we just take off? But we were pot committed. After you're there for like 40 minutes, thinking that's about a reasonable time. If you go to like Portillo's, if you go to like a bigger restaurant that's always backed up, a Chick-fil-A, you're going to be waiting half an hour, 40 minutes to get your food, to even get your order taken. Like the whole process takes about that long. So when we're pot committed, we're already 40 in, it's like, all right, well, uh, are we taking off, or are we dealing with this? Well, no, we decided to deal with it and we stayed. And after that whole wait, Andy, I got to tell you, man, the burgers were really, really good. Now, Alana has a theory. She thinks it's because we were so hungry that they just tasted really good.
I think she might
But
be right on that one.
and it might be. I told her, I'm like, you may be right. I'm like, we'll have to um, uh, get a new assessment next time we go, which will probably be like in a month from now. Hopefully, in a month from now, they kind of got their SOP, as we were talking earlier before we started recording, Andy. They got that hammered out, and they got that situated to where they're cranking these burgers out. Because I got to tell you, I was talking management talk to Junior while we're waiting, and I'm like, look at every car that goes through because it's only a one lane drive through. And I'm like, and look at every car and how long it takes for a car to come out. And dude, some of them were 10 minutes. So I'm like, that's 10 minutes for them to get their food. Now they aren't ordering and getting their food at the same window. They're ordering their food, and then by the time they get to the window, which is another 15 minutes or 10 minutes, they have to wait another 10 minutes to once they get to the drive-through window to get their food. I'm like, that is unacceptable. I'm like, I saw a documentary on McDonald's where it is a conveyor belt. And granted, it's McDonald's food, so maybe that's why it's so quick. But there was definitely some inefficiencies going on. I get it. It's their first week. Um, they had people out there directing traffic because it went around the block and it went to the main highway where there was
No, dude. No.
cars coming out of the highway that were held up because you're driving and it's like 45, 50 miles per hour down that highway, and all of a sudden there's just like a sudden stop of cars once you get to the side street that you got to turn into to get to Jack in the Box. It was crazy. It was crazy. There was people that were walking up because they would park at the
Mhm.
there was like a tattoo shop and like a little mom and pop shop in a store across the street from Jack
Yeah.
in the Box.
It's like a
And
strip mall on the other
yeah,
side or something.
yeah. So they were parking there trying to walk over, but guess what? The dine-in was closed because they had not finished the dine-in setup yet. They were only
Oh,
taking orders to the drive-through, which I think exacerbated the whole thing. I think if the dine-in was available, because that was my intention from the start, I was not going to go through drive-through. My intent was to stop, pull in, and eat inside. So luckily when one of the guys came over directing traffic, like, hey, okay, can you move up a little, can you move up, and he's walking around, I'm like, hey, are they allowing down in? And he's just like, no, they're not ready. He's just like, we told management that it was going to be a problem, but this is the deadline that they said was for the opening, so we opened it, but we're only accepting drive through. He's like, we're hoping to have the dine in next week. So I'm thinking in a couple more weeks, hopefully this all gets situated, but it was definitely a fiasco. And I mean, to me, it was worth it. I wasn't that hungry to begin with, but Alana was starting to get a little bit hangry, and it was just like, this is a long wait.
so what did you guys order? Like burger meals and that's it?
Yeah, I think all three of us got a burger meal. Alana got this mushroom Swiss cheese something.
Mm-hmm.
Junior got a bacon double cheeseburger, and then I got a double cheeseburger as well. We got onion rings and jalapeno poppers on the side, and then Junior got a cheesecake, a slice of cheesecake. Um, the burgers to me were awesome. The fries were like cold, and they felt like they were sitting there for like 10 minutes already. So that might just be a part of them not being on time with the burgers. And it was just like the fries were sitting there for a minute. I would have liked more McDonald's style fresh. That's what it tasted like it wasn't fresh. But the onion rings were really good. And the jalapeno poppers, their timing is off because most of them had exploded and the cheese was gone. It was just like a slice of
This thing.
jalapeno. Yeah, it was just like jalapeno breaded slice of jalapeno. But yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I recommend, that's why I'd ask what you order if you get their the world famous like fried tacos, like that Burger King copied. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes,
They're the ones
yes.
that originated it. So I wanted to see if you ordered that or not.
I did see it on their menu, and I was this close to ordering it because they offer the two tacos, like you said, like the Burger King
Mm-hmm.
similar one. But they also had like a mini taco loaded, it said. And it
Oh.
comes with like six mini tacos, and then they guess they drench it in some kind of like salsa sauce or something. I was close to getting that, but I figured for the wait, the more we were waiting, the more I'm like, I got to get a burger. Otherwise, I don't know when we're going to be back. And I can't have my review just be some fried tacos that they give you that I could just get at Burger King.
Yeah, it's
So,
insane, dude. I can't believe you waited that long. We drive by there like every weekend, and then my wife's like, we actually were talking about it yesterday. Like, oh, you hear people are waiting like 2+ hours for that place. I'm like, "Pfft, like it's fast food. Like, just wait a month, man." But yeah, I can't. But that's why I'm kind of shocked to hear you waited.
yeah, I thought about you while we were in line. I'm like, there's no way Andy would wait for this.
Fuck no,
I'm
man.
like, there's no way. I'm like, Andy doesn't even want to wait 15 minutes at a restaurant. And I'm willing to wait. Like, if I'm going to go somewhere, I'm willing to wait for something good. This was more like a pot committed kind of thing. You had been there for, 45, almost an hour. It's like, all right, we're here until we get our food. We're just going to deal with it. And yeah. I don't know if you're excited about it, Noel. I don't know if you're still a connoisseur of fast food or not.
I've never tried Jack in the Box, and honestly, I didn't really know much about them. So I was like really surprised to hear you guys going back and forth on just how busy it is. It's like mind-boggling to me because 40-minute wait, like I don't think
And
I've experienced that since
I
a Great
I
America
had them in
ride.
the West Coast when I've gone to California, Nevada, Vegas. Hell, even in Hawaii, I'm like, oh, there's a Jack in the Box. Like, it was like I used to hear stories out when it was here in Illinois, like in the 70s or some people were like rave about those fucking tacos, right? And I just walked in, ordered like a meal, the tacos, and I was out like in 10 minutes. And then um, I was like, yeah, it's okay. It's like any fast food thing. But when they were opening up here in Illinois again in Chicagoland, I heard some of the horror stories at the other grand opening. There was like people waiting, and then this one, the one in Lake in the Hills or Crystal Lake or whatever, there was like it was gonna open up that week, and she was my wife was keeping an eye on it, and like, oh, people are waiting 2 hours plus. I'm like, nah, man, it's okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
I know they got another two locations, I believe, in the Chicagoland area.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is definitely the closest one to us. And I think you're right, Andy. I think after another couple weeks, they'll have it settled down, and then I'll have to go check it out again, and maybe get those tacos so we can give them a taste, and I'll let you know.
It's just like everything. Then when out in Texas they got Whataburger, in the West Coast they got the In and Out burger. I haven't had a Whataburger. I did have In and Out, and when I was out there, they were hyping it up, and I'm just like, okay. I mean, it was decent. And it's you can tell it was freshly made, but they were talking about it was like the best fucking thing since sliced bread, and to me, it was okay. It was good. Like, would I go back? Yeah, I would go back, but it wasn't like I was like fucking like, dang, I gotta have this like every fucking day.
Right? It was no White Castle. I hear what you're
No,
saying.
yeah.
Uh, Somewhere else I went, Andy, is I went to Olive Garden, man. I hadn't been there in quite a while as well. Um, and
Hmm.
yeah, I went this not this weekend, but the weekend before, and I gotta say, man, I think they've taken a step out, man. I got the tour of Italy. I was really excited for the soup, which the soup was still on on their game. I usually get that spicy sausage taccani. I forget what it's called. Some Italian name,
Hmm.
and that one was really good. But yeah, man, their turvili, I was really pumped for that chicken parm. I was just envisioning like that crispy chicken in some of the pasta sauce, and then with some melted cheese on top. And yeah, man, that patty got smaller, it got thinner, it got drier, and it just wasn't worth the Olive Garden. Now the fettuccine pasta, that's still good, but man, I can make that at my house. To me, that's like not that impressive. And then the lasagna, that was pretty good as well. That wasn't too bad, but uh, I think if I really wanted to, I could probably make that. But that chicken parm was something like I'm like, this will be a little tougher to make, especially the way I remember them making it. So yeah, it was a little disappointing, but the soup was good. Had some of their salad that was good. To be honest, back in the day, or at least the last time I went, all I used to get was just a soup and salad, and I used to just dig down on that and give me like two or three bowls of soup. I used to eat like a bowl or two of salad, and I was set, man. But yeah, it was a little disappointing. Olive Garden lost a step, or at least in my opinion, and I don't know when's the next time we will be going back to that place. Do you like Olive Garden, Noel?
Um, I'm not opposed to it. I've been there only like maybe 2 or 3 times in my life,
Really? Okay.
but yeah, I don't really eat a lot at restaurants, dude. What I do is like Taco Burrito King, stuff like that, or that's like the most restauranty thing that I'll go to. But I don't mind Olive Garden. I actually like it. I know a lot of like Italians, like authentic Italians, crap on it, but like I always thought, at least from the times that I had it, that it was really flavorful and it was good for the price, especially those breadsticks were fire. And but yeah, I mean, if they lost a step, then it's even less reason for me to go back now.
Yeah, for sure. And I know you like Italian food, Andy, but you say that it's tough to reason to buy it since it's just pasta and sauce. When was the last time you went to Olive Garden?
I think the last time we went was like a year ago, and we took it to go because we had Andy, the baby, and I was like, and it was like expensive even to get the takeout. And what was funny was that all the Olive Gardens around here, they're always packed. The takeout is always the people sitting in the takeout, or all the takeout spots are filled. And it was pricey, and that's my whole thing. And I was just like, man, I can make this shit at the house. Like, it's not like even their most difficult dish, like the chicken parm or lasagna, it's not really that good, and it's pricey now. It used to be affordable. I think me and you were talking like the price for the tour of Italy was over. I mean, last time I went, I think it was under $20. It was like 18 or 19. I think now it's like 22 to 25, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and we were talking about it, and then I don't know if you sent me this or something popped up in my feed. I don't recall. They had a commercial of Olive Garden from like 1997, and the tourability was plate was 9.99. So I was just like, holy shit! Like, yeah, it was under $10, and now it's like, and it looked a lot better than what we had. My wife likes it. I think the last time we actually like sat down and ate, I think I just got the soup and salad thing, which was like $7 or $8. And the soup was some of their soups are okay. And then you get the salad and breadsticks. I think you'll be all right.
yeah, for sure. That's usually my go-to, but yeah, just like everything else, pricing is going up. Portions are getting smaller, but that's how it is. Let's flip it over to Noel and talk about his week. Oh man, I see you're starting a new diet and you're down 4 pounds already. Let fill us in on what this diet is, man.
Yeah, man, it's been a little bit of a challenge, but not the biggest challenge that I've had before when I switched up diets. So I've been like reading a lot and watching videos on like, health people on YouTube and stuff, and they give a lot of good advice, and I kind of cross-reference like what the common like resonating messages, and it's essentially lowering carbs. You can do keto and you can go super low, or you can do, moderate or just low. And there's all sorts of ranges, right? Ultimately, what matters too is the quality of the carbs you're getting, making sure it's like whole grains and vegetables and, whole, fruits and stuff like that. So, I started switching up my diet recently. I want to say I'm about a little over a weekend, and I'm pretty much quitting fast food and quitting any kind of processed stuff. I'm lowering tons of carbs that I loved. I like bread pasta. I like potatoes, stuff like that. I am keeping in pinto beans, and I'm keeping in like some veggies like cauliflower and stuff that'll have some carbs, but they're healthy carbs. Um, and it's organic. I'm switching to purely organic, pure grass-fed, and grass-finished beef and salmon, sockeye wild-caught salmon. And I'm gonna probably take a break from chicken for a bit. I've noticed even organic chicken will make me feel like inflamed. I've just been dealing with a lot of inflammation lately, and it's becoming like a problem, man. I gained some weight. I felt like
Do
just crap, dude, and
do
yeah.
you sleep with a fan next to you, Noel?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
And what
and
do
right
you put
now
on
with
the
the
chicken?
summer, the chicken. So I have like an all seasoning that's like salt free, but then
Mm-hmm.
obviously I put salt. I put a generous amount of salt. I use potassium chloride, which is a salt substitute, so I could balance out the mineral content in it. It's not just pure sodium; it's sodium and potassium. And then I put this all seasoning, which is like a bunch of different herbs and stuff. Sometimes I'll do paprika and garlic powder, and that's just about it, really, for chicken. I cook it in avocado oil, and I cook it at a reasonable heat, but not in too crazy. But it's just for some reason it still doesn't make me feel great.
Did
Um,
you
but I,
switch to avocado oil recently or using something else?
no, avocado oil I've been using for I wouldn't say about 2 years now, maybe
Mm.
more. I actually prefer it because it's a good high smoke point, so you could really cook your food well and not have to worry about any kind of free radicals or just some weird stuff. And I think it's cold pressed, so it's not like all this industrial, solvents to make it, the
Yeah.
oil. So yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get everything on point, man, just because waking up feeling stiff, my knees are aching, and just having sciatic pain when I shouldn't be. It's like, all right, man, I got to get my stuff together. Now's the time before it gets too late, and it's like a runaway effect. So I've been hitting the gym again, and I've been watching my diet, and I gradually lowered the carbs. I didn't do it cold turkey because the last time I did that, you get what's called a keto flu, or you can get that. Not everybody does, but I am prone to that. If I lower my carbs too quick after being accustomed to high carbs, I guess I start feeling like really bad. I feel like I have a flu. I get like flushed, a fever. I feel tired, lethargic, like I'm sleepy, and it just feels like you're battling an illness, and you're really not. The second you eat some carbs, it kind of starts diminishing. And then you eat more carbs, and it goes away. So I'm like, okay, it's definitely that. So I had to gradually wean myself off, almost like an addiction. It's like a sugar addiction, which all carbs turn into glucose, which is like sugar. So anyway, long story short, yeah, I've switched it up. I'm in like the 130 to 150 range, so it's not like super low, but it's getting there. The goal is to get to the keto part, which is 50 grams or less. Hold on there for a minute, as long as I can, and then maybe start introducing carbs again in a healthy way, until I get to my weight that I want to be. I don't want to say my weight right now, but my goal is to be like 185, 170 ideal. But it's probably gonna be about a year before I get there. So I'll keep you guys updated. But I'm 4 pounds down right now, so God willing, I'll keep it going and see where we go.
That's great, man. I'm glad that it's working for you. I'm glad that you're starting to see some results because that is the other kind of caveat to some of this stuff is that you try to make changes and then you don't see any results at all, and it is a little disappointing. So I'm glad it's working for you. And I agree with you. The kicking carbs 100%. I don't think that's the right way. It definitely becomes something where the moment you reintroduce it back into your diet, it's gonna give you like a reverse effect, and you're just gonna end up gaining a bunch of weight back. So, no, I think you're doing it the right way, man.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, so I've been eating a lot more protein too, and I highly recommend steak, dude. It's phenomenal. I feel great with it. And then salmon too. I've been having that, and eggs. And I also switched. I was eating turkey before, and I just noticed it started making me feel like inflamed. Chicken and turkey for whatever reason just doesn't sit right with me. So I switched it up to roast beef with some eggs, and man, dude, that was like not only is it good tasting, but it actually makes me feel just fuller, satiated, and like just looser. I don't know how to explain it, but
Hmm.
like I'm just walking around looser. It just doesn't feel like the stiffness weighed down. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, it feels good. Hoping to
Yeah,
keep it going.
you sound like Junior. I was eating lunch with Andy the other day at work, and I'm eating a salad, and Alana texts me. He's like, "Yeah, look what your son wanted for lunch," and she sends me a picture of him eating a T-bone steak that we had in the freezer. And so I'm like, man, this guy's eating T-bone steak for lunch, and I'm over here eating a salad.
Yeah, it's like the complete opposite, right? But no, it's good, man. He's
Do
got to
you
get his
eat
protein in.
hard-boiled eggs at all, Noah?
No, but so ramen, I'm a really big fan of ramen, and there's these noodles that are low carb that I
Hmm.
plan to eventually make some ramen with, and I want to learn how to make these. It's like a hard boiled egg, but like not fully cooked, so that the yolk can still kind of be runny, and they like cure it in like a soy sauce or something.
Hmm.
I'm gonna learn how to make it, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not opposed to
usually,
it.
yeah, when I was doing the low carb or whatever, no sugar, I ate a lot of hard-boiled eggs, and then usually I just cut them, and then I just doused them in mustard, and then I was pretty much good to go. That was usually my lunch.
All right, yeah, I might have to try that out for sure.
Yeah, because
But yeah.
everybody's weird about salt. I know the only the person that talked to me about salt was Danny, because that one day he was just eating like this low sodium shit. I'm like, we do that. Salt's bad for you. I'm just like, okay. And then I don't. I've never been a big. I mean, I haven't really taken a lot of salt or salt at any of my meals in like decades.
Yeah, you didn't
I
have
know
any
like
high blood
people.
pressure, right?
Any what?
You never had high blood pressure issues with salt or anything
No,
like that. Yeah.
no. I don't eat a lot of salt. I just overeat. But yeah, I like my wife. She has a sweet tooth and like salt. She puts salt in just about everything. I think I oversalt stuff, but she's throwing more on there, and I'm like, yeah. I know
Y-
salt is always people are always like it's either too much or uh uh people say it's too much or not enough.
I still have more research to do on it, and I'm not a nutritionist, so this is not like medical advice or anything. But from what I've seen, salt is not really the enemy. It's just that carbs can hold on to water, and
Hmm.
salt also can raise your blood pressure. So that combination of salt and carbs can raise your blood pressure, and that could be negative. But since I'm going low carb, I'm actually excreting a lot of water weight and like fluids and stuff,
Yeah.
and I need to
Hmm.
replenish that with minerals. So like salt is like especially needed right now that I'm lowering my carb intake. So yeah.
The only new thing I heard recently when you diet is, which I found kind of interesting, is someone was talking about how not to, when you're eating all this like low carb and all that, to not drink water. Do not drink when you're eating. Did you ever hear that? Because when you
So
do that, because you're diluting the food that you're eating and your body can't do something. Like, and we've been doing it all wrong. And
when I
then
was
the
in
other, and then
yeah,
the
in
other
like
thing,
junior year of high school, that's what I heard.
yeah, like I never heard that till like a month ago. And then they also recommend not to drink anything after dinner for like a half hour. So don't eat don't drink anything during dinner, and then don't drink anything after dinner for like a half hour.
I'm not sure on the numbers. That could be right. I don't recall what they said in high school. I've been doing it just out of coincidence. Just my whole life, I've been doing it that way. Everybody always kind of made fun of me for it whenever we'd have food, and they're all drinking their pops or their water or
Hmm.
whatever,
Hmm.
and I'd just be eating like that. They're like, "Dang, you're not gonna drink water?" I'm like, "Ah, maybe a sip, but no, I'm gonna wait until I'm done, then I'll drink some water after. I don't want to mix it up." And they always judge me for it, and I thought I was weird. Then in high school, I was like, I felt so like vindicated. I was like, yes, I was doing it right all along, just naturally. And it just worked. I don't know. For whatever reason, I didn't want to drink too much water while eating. And they did say that, yeah, it dilutes the nutrients. It absorbs better when it's like
Yeah.
that. And then, yeah, after a while, I don't know, 15 to 30 minutes, you could drink some water or whatever. Obviously, if it's really dry, have sips of water so you don't choke. But
Hmm.
yeah. But yeah, you don't want to make it essentially a soup in your stomach. That's
Yeah.
another thing. Soup wasn't
Yes.
that nutritious, they're saying.
That soup is yeah, not as nutritious because it's water, and that's why you get hungry right away, because you're
Uh,
not you're it's just you're diluting everything. It goes right through you, and so your body's like it's not. It doesn't think it's full. You're full, and it's because a lot of it's just water, right? And
yeah,
then I mean, does that make sense? When I first heard that, like the whole water thing, and then they talked about soups, I'm like, oh, I guess it makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. No, I've heard similar things, and yeah, I mean, everyone has to, I guess, do what their body tells them to. So maybe try it and see if it makes you feel better to not, drink so much water while you eat. Yeah, it could be something to it.
Right.
But yeah, one more thing I did recently. Actually, I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute. Just to kind of get off my list here. Let's just go through it real quick. Ford versus Ferrari. I watched this actually over a month ago. I've been wanting to talk about it just to kind of see if you guys have ever watched it. I know Daniel, you're into like the documentaries and stuff like that. This is considered a docudrama, so it's like based on history, and it's essentially talking about the Ford's like first race car, like the Ford GT, and how it went head to head against Ferrari in the like this really big race called Le Mans. Have you guys ever heard about this movie?
I have.
Yeah, I've heard about it, and actually, there's some car gearheads at work, and they talked about it when it first came out that it was really good. But yeah, since I'm not really into cars, it didn't really pique my interest. But you said it's like based on a real life situation.
Yeah, man, it's pretty sad, man. It's got a lot of good actors in it, and it's really good cast and choreography and cinematography. Everything was on point, dude. And um, it is based on history, and there's a lot of drama to it. It actually won two Oscars. It's got an 8.1 out of 10, and that's with over 500,000 votes. So it's definitely earned its place there in the cinematic history. But yeah, so it essentially is talking about Shelby, Carroll Shelby, that made the famous Shelby Mustangs, and it talks about a driver, a British driver called Ken Miles. He's played by Christian Bale, and Ken Miles is contracted to drive for Ford under the supervision of Shelby. Shelby is the one making the cars and kind of like souping them up and working on it and finding the best way for the car and the driver to combine to face up against Ferrari and finally win Le Mans and kind of put Ford on the map. And so yeah, it's in the 60s, especially around the era of the Elvis and stuff. So I think it is up your alley. While you might not be a car or gearhead, I think you'd enjoy it for the drama of it, and I think even you too, Andy. If you're a fan of the actors and all that, it's one of those good movies. The Definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, I want to check it out. I've heard about it. It's been recommended to me before.
No, it sounds interesting. I might have to put it in my queue.
Sounds good, guys. But yeah, so that pretty much wraps things up for the week here. With that being said, let's get into the article of the week. All right, so we got an article here at wtop.com. Article reads the headline: Rabbits with horns in Colorado are being called Frankenstein bunnies. Here's why. So we're just gonna kind of read through the article quickly here and get your thoughts on it. So a group of rabbits in Colorado have been found with grotesque horn-like growths that may seem straight out of a low-budget horror film, but scientists say that there's no reason to be spooked. The furry creatures merely have a relatively common virus. So there's cottontails that were recently spotted in Fort Collins that are infected with this harmless virus they call Shope papillomavirus, and it causes wart-like growths that protrude from their faces, and they can metastasize into horns. There's photos of it and showing them, and they've been dubbed Frankenstein bunnies, demon rabbits, zombie rabbits. It's just, and honestly, the pictures are crazy. It's pretty frightening, dude. It reminds me of The Last of Us. It's just like, man, these like weird, like moldy growths coming out of their head. It's just pretty bizarre, man. But apparently, this has existed for a long time. There's even folklore around it, like ancient folklore over 100 years ago. So it looks like the virus is influenced by centuries-old jackalope myth in North America, which told of a rabbit with antlers or horns, among other animal variations. The disease in rabbit also contributed to scientists' knowledge about the connection between viruses and cancer, such as the human papillomavirus that causes cervical cancer, and that would be HPV or herpes, right? So the virus in rabbit was named after the Dr. Richard E. Shope, a professor at Rockefeller University, who discovered the disease in the 1930s. There's been sightings in Fort Collins, north of Denver, and they started getting attention after they spotted a bunch of these bunnies, and they started taking pictures of it. There's a spokesperson of the Colorado Parks and Wildlife, Caravan Hoos, who told the press on Wednesday they're getting calls about these rabbits. She said it's not really uncommon to see these rabbits infected, especially in the summer. There's a lot of fleas and ticks that spread the virus, and so you're going to see a lot more occurrence of this in the summer. But it doesn't spread species to species. It stays with rabbits. It's not going to affect your pets or humans. And the growths, while they look, weird, they don't really harm the rabbits apparently, unless it like blocks their mouth or maybe even blocks their like nasal passages, I imagine. But the immune system should fight it off and they should get better. It's just very like weird and bizarre that I don't think I've ever heard of this growing up, and all of a sudden, obviously with social media, we hear about everything like within seconds of, it happening. It's like instant information for everyone. So, what do you guys think about this? Have you ever heard of this growing up?
I mean, well, I
No,
always heard the story that the rabbit with antlers or whatever. I mean, I did hear that as a kid, but I've never heard about this virus or anything like that. And I did see it was kind of trending like a week ago, and I was telling my wife, so we got some rabbits around our backyard, so I'm always looking at them when they're jumping in the back to see if they got horns and shit, but they don't. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. That explains why they used to see rabbits with like horns and antlers back in the day because they had a fucking virus.
yeah, I've never seen this before ever. And when Alana was asking me what it was about, she's like, "Yeah, this has been something for a while, and it's a virus that they grow, antlers, out of their top of their head, but anywhere in their head." And I was just like, "Wow, I never even heard about this. Even as a kid, I never heard about it." And not to switch subjects, but it is allegedly also with deers. There's some like growth fungus thing happening with them as well. And I don't know if you've seen those, but those look like skin boils or like these like warts that are like growing out of the side of it. And the article does make mention as well that this virus is a type of wart that is growing out of the rabbits. So I don't know if it's related, but they do not look like horns on those poor deer.
It's just bunny herpes, man.
Yeah.
It's just a virus. It's nothing major. Like, nah, man, that's major.
These rabbits aren't using protection, man.
Yeah.
They're going at it like rabbits, right? And so yeah, it's bound to
It's like
spread.
everybody has it. It's not active or that bullshit. Someone told me one time, I'm like, nah, bro, I don't got that shit. No, we all got it. Nah, I don't got that thing in your lip, bro. It's nasty. Um, but yeah, man, it's just like it's weird. I think you're right. No, well, social media, everything is just, I guess, more sensationalized because, yeah, I mean, we've all the shit we've been through the last 5, 10 years with pandemic and everything. Like what's fucking next? Like, oh, rabbits have fucking horns coming out of them, but it's okay. It's normal. Like, no, it's not normal. Nobody's ever seen them until now.
Yeah.
And so, uh, like, I'm hoping to see one because the article does say their immune system defeats it over time, and they just go back to normal. And I'm like, what? Like, it just disappears. I'm like, does it fall off? Like, what happens?
Yeah, I thought they were gonna like when I saw the pictures and before I read the article and all that, I'm like, man, these rabbits can't live through this. Like, eventually they're gonna die. Just like there's like an ant that gets taken over by a virus, like a parasite or something,
Hmm.
and it commits suicide. You ever heard of that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be something like that. Like these rabbits are getting taken over by some kind of fungus parasite or something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like you mentioned the Last of Us plague thing where there's just like this virus that takes over.
Yeah.
I mean, you heard what happened in California? I think a couple of days ago, someone tested positive for the plague, and you're like, just what the fuck's going on? The plague? So, like, how would like it's just like this more and more just weird stuff that pops up. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like they just people think of medieval times when that happened, but in today's 2025, like someone has the plague, and I'm like, of course it's in California.
Yeah, man, it's crazy world right now, especially with just all the information we were talking about earlier. It's just everything gets around, and it seems like it's like doom and gloom everywhere you look. But that's why you got to focus on the positive and just be grateful we're not dealing with all the little horns coming out of our heads, right? So
Then they
Yeah,
say like, oh, it's normal. He has a virus. Don't look at him.
yeah, I know that the first thing before I even read the article, I thought, I'm like, man, first we had to deal with COVID. Now rabbits are dealing with, some kind of disease or something going on. But yeah, to find out that it's something they've been dealing with for forever makes it a little more palatable. But Yeah, it kind of sucks for these poor rabbits. I in my yard, there's like two or three rabbits. Whenever Alana lets the dog out into the backyard, she takes a glance to see if the rabbits are just chilling there, and if they are, she waits and like kind of makes some noise so they can scurry away, because Bagel's been known to kill a few rabbits for sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's the article states that the guy who invented it, the guy who first discovered it was like in the 1930s. So think about that. It's not even 100 years old. It's like 95. And when they first like noticed it, or a scientist or whatever like recorded and documented this, and then here we are like, oh, it's normal. Like it's been going on forever. So it's just insane. Like what so you imagine this was going on like in 1800s, 1700s, and people were like, "Oh, it's possessed, shoot it," or something. It's a demon bunny. And today they're just like, "Ah, it's normal. Don't look at it."
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
for
because they
real.
know more about it.
Yeah, for real. Oh man.
But we want to thank you. That's all we got for this time. We want to thank you guys for listening. You can remember to follow Freeform Network on Facebook and X at Freeform Network. Send your questions and suggestions to ffnquestions@gmail.com. Hit us up there. We like the feedback, positive or negative. Um, don't forget to check out our webpage, freeformnetwork.podbean.com. There we have all our old episodes, all the new ones, links to multiple platforms, and there you could hit us. You could like anything that we do. So we're on Stitcher, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, Spotify, everything now. There's so many ways to listen to us, it's crazy. But however you do it, like and subscribe. The hit us up. For Freeform Radio, we got Danny.
Yes, sir, man. No football today, but in a couple weeks, Bears start for reals, man. So go Bears.
You're done, and we got Noel.
Thank you everybody for joining us again, and we appreciate you.
And it's all good, Andy. We want to thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
That was cool, Dad.